For this class today, it might be helpful to grab a block and a strap. Use what you have around the house. So if you don't have a strap, you can grab a scarf, you can grab a belt, like anything like that that works. And if you don't have a block, go ahead and grab, like, I don't know, a stack of something, like a stack of books or something like that that might work for you. So to kind of introduce our theme for today, so this week, the plan is to focus on different chakras each day. The different classes that we'll be going through in a week kind of lend themselves to one chakra or another. So like the Yoga Pilates class is automatically, that's our third chakra, our solar plexus chakra focus day. And for today's class, we're going to focus on the heart chakra. And so the way that we focus on that physically is through including different types of back bending poses, helping to open the energy of our heart. And especially with craziness going on in the world right now, I think opening the heart is such a powerful thing that we need to include in our practice. Something that we're meant to learn from this virus right now. What if this is actually like one of the biggest things that could happen to us collectively at this time? And so if we open our heart to it rather than completely being, closed off to any good that can come from this, then we can approach ourselves much more heart-centered, much more receptive and aware. The heart energy focuses on ideas like love, connection, compassion, forgiveness, these types of ideas. And so that'll be energetically what we're working on as we're going through our physical practice today. So I'd like us to start off coming all the way down onto our backs. So make your way comfortably down. And you want your spine and your back to be relaxed at this point. So if you've got low back problems going on, for instance, you could plant your feet, let your knees knock inward, or just find this nice open, receptive position, just prone on the ground. And so as we're here, taking a few good deep breaths, begin to feel the body relax and calm. Air is the element of the heart chakra. And so as we focus on including breathing through our practice today, we're giving ourselves permission to open to a whole different level. And I'd like us to also include the Ujjayi breath. And so the Ujjayi breath is a breath where the throat is lightly constricted. And with that light constriction, you hear the sound and it slows down the breath. So it's almost like a Darth Vader's breath. Or like an ocean wave would be another way to describe it. So it's like a slow inhale just through the throat with the throat slightly contracted. And then keep that same contraction for the exhale. Sometimes if people haven't done this breath before, it can be helpful to use this little trick. Do the sound ha, like you're breathing hot air into your glasses. And halfway through that ha, close your jaw. And that will automatically have that constricted throat. So try that a couple of times, just the and then try to leave that same constriction when you take your next inhale. Take a long, slow breath like that, filling the lungs to about their capacity. And take 3 more slow Ujjayi breaths. After that third Ujjayi breath, begin to bring your knees in toward the chest, one hand around each knee. Let yourself have some nice little low back circles. Starting to open up our spine already. Let's take a little twist. The arms open out to left and right. The knees begin to fall all the way over to the left side. See if you can still maintain that same Ujjayi breath even in a twist. The knees come up and they twist over to the second side. And here we return our hips back down, plant the feet close to the glutes. If you have a block, grab your block and place it in your inner thighs. Your inner thighs will squeeze into the block, making sure that the knees are staying in line with the hips. So from that placement of the legs, our hands rest on the floor next to the body. And with our inhale, we scoop the tailbone up, lift up the hips, and rise up one vertebrae at a time. Exhale, roll back down one vertebrae at a time. Let's do that 6 more times. Rising up and down. A nice exhale and inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now from here, grab that block, lift the hips up one more time, and we'll slide the block under the flat part of the hips, not coming up into the bumpy vertebrae. Keep it lower down on the hips. You can choose the height. If you're using a yogic block, you've got different height options. So you've got the low height. Right now I'm in medium. Some days I like going up to the tall height like this. And so here, this is our first type of a back bend. And so notice how this type of back bend is happening. Notice what's going on. With the hips lifted, the rest of the spine is kind of forced upward. And so let yourself, as much as possible, surrender down into gravity, even with the hips being lifted like this. Leaving the left foot down on the ground, take a brief moment to extend the right leg as straight up to the sky as it can go. Starting to feel that hamstring stretching out for a moment. And then bending that knee again. Plant the right foot down. Second side, left knee comes in. Left leg straightens upward. Good. Start to plant that left foot down. Lift the hips up off the block. Scoot the block off to the side, returning hips back down to the ground. And just shimmy your hips left and right a couple of times. This is helping to remind that sacrum what the flat plane feels like, helping to bring it back to a good neutral field. And then as we're preparing our body for some of the back bends that are coming up later on in class, we want to make sure that our quads are stretched out, prepared for what's to come. So I'd like to progressively build ourselves into a nice quad stretch here. What I'd like us to do, open the arms back up to left and right, bring the knees back into the chest, and let the knees fall all the way over to the left once again, taking that beautiful twist. Notice if the spine feels different already than that first one you took just a pose or two ago. And from here, to get into the quad stretch, continue to roll your body over to that left side. The bottom leg can be just long on the ground, that left leg long. The right hand grabs the right foot from behind your back. And for some of us, just resting that head down on the arm and grabbing that foot is going to be enough to stretch out the quad. So this is a perfectly fine place to be. If you'd like to get a little bit deeper, you'll start to return your right toes to the ground with them staying tucked behind you. If you even just go a little bit, that'll get slightly deeper into the quads. Some people can swivel the toes all the way up to the side and return both hips all the way down. If you make it that far, that right foot can be flexed or pointed, whatever is more comfortable for your ankle. So just get to whatever depth allows your quad to be stretching. We're gonna rest here for a few moments, being patient. Remember, this is not about hurting the knee. So if you feel any pain, back out of it, even to the point where we're laying all the way on that side again. Okay, one more huge breath in. And with a nice exhale, roll as much over to the left as you need to free out that leg. We're taking a counter stretch, right leg goes clear up to the sky. Grab onto the back side of the leg wherever you can comfortably reach. What we were stretching in the last pose was the quad. What we're stretching here is the hamstring. So we're getting both sides of that leg all loosened up. Okay, preparing for the second side. Bend both knees into the chest, open the arms back out. Both knees go over to the right this time. Once we're here, we start preparing for the twist. So the right leg extends long, roll all the way onto the side body, grabbing the left hand and the left toes behind you. And by the way, if that connection is ever hard to make, grab that strap or the scarf, the belt, whatever you have, grab onto that to help you find the connection. And once again, once you're here, listen to this knee, listen to the quad. If it wants to go deeper, we start to return the toes to the ground a little bit. Or the toes going off to the side helps the hips return somewhat down or all the way down. Just continue to find a good depth that allows this area of the body to really open up. See if you can find that Ujjayi breath again, focusing on inflating and deflating the lungs. It's almost like with every deep breath that we take, we're cleansing some of the hatred or some of the just the closed heart that we might feel. We're opening that up to the freshness of air, the lightness of air. Take 2 more rounds of breath. And roll as far over toward that right side as you need to free out the leg. When you return the hips back down, we're stretching that left leg up to the sky, getting that counter stretch. And once again, even breathe into this stretch too. Sometimes this is where we start clenching because this is tight for a lot of people. Okay, as we release, let's bring both knees into the chest. We're going to rock up and down 3 or 4 times, helping to massage out the spine. The next time we're up, we'll stay. Bring the legs into cobbler's pose, bottoms of the feet together, knees opening. And from here, the version of cobbler we're doing today, we're going to have our hands planted behind us so that we can create a heart opening pose. So the heart comes forward, the head rocks back just a little bit, and just feel that opening already. One more inhale, a good exhale. And then bringing the arms back free, we're going to plant our right hand, our left hand circles up and over. Imagine we're opening this part of the heart, that part of the ribs, freeing out our ribs to have a deeper breath. There was a chiropractor I was talking with who said that sometimes people's ribs start turning inward, and he has to kind of help pop them back out to the flat plane, like if you rub your hand on the outside, that kind of flat. And that helps to make it so that the very, the turning in, the very shape of the ribs is not impeding on our ability to take a deep breath. And so rising up, plant the left hand, right hand circles up and over. Imagining we're helping to loosen up and stretch this part as well, so the breath can ultimately be deeper. Okay, rising up from here, swing your legs around, coming to a nice kneeling position. And from this kneeling position, you can grab your block, have that close by, in case it would be helpful for you. We're going to stay kneeling on this right knee. If you're using the block, you would put the block by that right ankle, and then the left leg is extending off to your left long edge of the mat. So it's off to that angle. And so from here, a couple of times we're going to go back and forth between a back bend and then a nice forward fold, so our spine can continue to warm up, getting more and more used to being backwards. And so we start off with the right hand going to the block, or if you can reach your heel, bring the right hand all the way to the heel, hips go forward, this left arm reaches up and backward as far as you can squeeze it behind you. Take an inhale, exhale, gently rise back up, plant both of your hands in front of you, dropping down to elbows. And in this spot, try to find your sitting bones and point them further behind you. You're flattening out the low back. Okay, coming back up to hands. Here's number 4. So hand to block or heel, and then hips forward, left hand up and back. And exhale, return all the way down to elbows. Coming up to hands, here's 3. Exhale down. And rising up, 2. Coming forward. And 1. Hand to heel, left arm back. And forward. Okay, planting hands, bring the left knee under your body. The right leg extends long to the right long edge. If you used the block before, take your block right to the outside of that left ankle. And then we begin those 5 cycles here. So left hand to the heel, hips push forward, right arm reaches up and back. This reaching up and back is one thing we're building up to help us to dancer's pose later. So hands plant, maybe drop to elbows, try to flatten the low back, sticking the sitting bones back. Coming back up, here's 4. And make sure to take a huge inhale before I head out. So exhale helps me rise up and down. Here's 3. And coming out. Rising up for 2. And dropping down. And then when you're ready, last 1. When we drop down to elbows, take that couple of extra breaths right there. Planting the hands, bring this knee back. We're either in a kneeling plank or a full plank, lifting up the knees, your choice. Rock forward, squeeze the elbows in to lower the heart all the way to the ground. And then from here, hands hover about 1 inch or 2 above the ground. And with each inhale, we're going to lift arms and legs up. Exhale, lower back down. We're going to repeat that 10 times. This is a gentle strengthening the muscles of the spine. So inhale, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Sliding the elbows right under the shoulders like a Sphinx pose. We take a moment just with this back bend, hands plant, and we pretend like the hands are trying to drag closer to our body, but we don't actually let the hands move. Instead, the heart is brought forward and through. So feel that energy opening. Okay, left hand swivels in to prop us up. Right hand reaches up and back to grab those right toes. Again, if you need the strap here, that's fine. Try to pull the toes in for a nice stretch. And release. Second side, prop yourself up with the right hand, grab the left, pull it in. And as we release here, take a moment to press back into child's pose so that the spine gets a nice break. It's nice after lots of back bends to get this chance to go forward so that way we're not just cranking the spine further and further into that arch, Rather, we're giving it time to go forward and back, building its limberness to both of those directions. So try to see if you can rest the forehead down, and even see if you can connect back to that ujjayi breath, helping it to calm us. Heart openers are very warming for the body, and so it's nice to have that groundedness, that aspect that cools us and slows us down again. When your spine feels pretty happy again, we're finding a downward facing dog. Plant the hands, tuck the toes, start to lift the hips up to a nice high shape. Pedaling the legs out so that we can continue to get deeper into the hamstring area. Let's begin to walk up to the top of the mat, coming into a nice forward fold. Hands can be on the floor, they can be on that block. Just give the spine a chance to be forward. And again, we're tilting the hips forward with that. A nice good inhale. And exhale. Inhale, circle arms to the sides. Come all the way to stand, arching up and back. And hands up in front of the heart. Dropping the right hand to the right side, left hand circles up and over, stretching through those ribs. And rise. Second side, left hand down, right hand up and over. And rise. Beautiful. Starting to warm up our body even further. Inhale, circle the arms to the sides. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale as hands go down, the right foot lunges back. Rotate that heel down. We circle the arms up to the sky, warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, rotate the arms open to warrior two shape. And from here, we help the spine to continue warming up. And so with an exhale, we drop the front elbow to the front thigh. This right arm reaches up and over, long side body stretch. Inhale, return back to warrior two. The next exhale, the right fingers go to that back leg, and the other arm stretches up and back. Inhale, warrior two. See if you can find that ujjayi breath. Exhale. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, traveling backwards. Inhale, floating up. 3. 3. 2. 2. 1. And 1. Cartwheel the hands to the ground, surrounding that front foot. Pop up onto the back toes, step back into plank or kneeling plank. Lower strongly to the earth. And take a moment to pause in your back bend. You're welcome to take Sphinx pose that we did earlier with the elbows down. Or if you're ready for a little bit more, come up into a cobra pose. Pausing here. Gaze over one shoulder. And gaze over the other side. And tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Start to walk our way up to the top of the mat. A nice forward fold. Inhale, circle the arms up to the sky, little arch backward, and hands down to the heart. Once again here, plant the right hand on the right thigh, circle the left hand up and over to the side. Getting into those ribs, the lungs, and rise back up. Left hand down, right hand circles up, and over, and rise. Good, second side, up to the top of the mat, inhale, circle up to the sky, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, as the hands make their way down, just left foot lunges back. Rotate that heel down and circle the arms up to the sky. With this one, perhaps play with your balance. As long as your balance is okay and you're steadily staying here, perhaps try to gaze up at the hands. Maybe the hands touch together. And maybe the hands can travel backwards 3 or 4 inches. Another inhale. Exhale, rotate open into a warrior 2 shape. The front knee is still bent. We're tracking the knee open toward the pinky toe. And from here, let's go with those 5 cycles, a nice slow ujjayi breath. Exhale, the front elbow goes down. Stretch that left arm up and over. Inhale back up to warrior 2. Exhale the back fingers down, stretch up and backwards. Inhale back up. 4 more. And up. 3. 2. And 1. Beautiful. We cartwheel our hands to surround that front foot. Pop up onto the back toes. Step the front foot back, kneeling plank or full plank. We lower all the way down to the ground. With this one, as our belly is on the earth, we're going to take the right hand to grab the left foot behind your back. So they're opposites, right hand and left foot. The left hand swings around to plant a couple of inches in front of your face. Like if you were to lower the head down, it would still be several inches in front of that. So from this grip, right hand to left foot, with an inhale, we push the foot into the hand. We straighten that arm in front of us. Exhale, lower everything back down. Let's take 4 more. Inhale, rise. Exhale, down. 3. Exhale, down. 2. And 1. Switch the arms out. So left hand is the right hand is now the one that's in front of the face, like several inches. Left hand grabs right toes behind your back. And so from this position, when you're ready, and inhale to rise, foot pushes into the hand to create the back bend, and exhale down. 4. 3. 2, 1. We'll take a little break here. Both feet rest on the ground. We stack our hands on top of one another in front of our head, and our head rests down on that little pillow created by the arms. The elbows are nice and wide in front of us. This is an alligator pose. It gives our spine a good amount of traction into a nice long shape. Okay, here is where we're going to begin playing with our strap, creating a nice back bend with our strap. So grabbing that strap, again, you can use a scarf or a belt, whatever you have from home. Open up your strap so that you're creating a little loop with the way that you're gripping the strap in the middle. So you find more or less the middle of the strap, and then you just bunch it up so it's kind of got a little loop set up. From there, take that loop around your right foot and then slide your hands over your shoulder so that the strap is over the right shoulder and it's stuck with the right toes behind you. From here, the back bend that we're going to try to create is formed by the left hand propping us up in front of us. We can be down on the elbow or elbow lifted, your choice. And the right arm will try to straighten up above our head. And then the foot kicks into the strap to create almost like a bow pose, a U shape. And so see if you can find that. If your strap is kind of short and you can't straighten it all the way, that's okay. Still kick the foot into the strap to create as much of a lift as you can. If this is pretty easy for you and you want to try to challenge yourself, you're going to try to scoot your hand closer toward the foot before you lift up, so that the shoulder has a lot deeper of a stretch to go to be lifted up into the U shape. So if you're here, let's take about 5 more breaths before we switch sides. Remember the knees squeezing more in rather than just kind of slaying open to the side. It's kind of that idea that we had at the beginning with squeezing into the block. One more inhale. Exhale, gentle release. Completely set the strap off to the side. This right shoulder threads under and through toward that left long edge of the mat. And the left hand creates just a little pillow for the head to rest down onto. It's a gentle, gentle counter stretch. If you don't really feel that, square the shoulders more downward to the ground, even rocking onto the forehead. Okay, unwinding the arms. Now remember that some of the organs that have to do with this heart chakra include the heart, the lungs, and also the arms. So that's why we're making sure to stretch them out as well. So let's start to set it up for the second side. Find that middle of the strap. Pinch it off so it's kind of like the shape of a head. And then wrap that little loop around the left foot. Once you've got that down, try to relax both hips back down onto the ground and take both ends of the strap over that left shoulder. Find the right hand planting on the ground. Again, you can stay on that right elbow or lift the elbow up when you're traveling up. Either way, test out the water, see how this side is feeling. Start to straighten that left arm and kick the foot into the strap to create that bow pose shape. So from here, you can tell, okay, do I need to make this more gentle? Just kind of leaving this left arm down and just working on the leg. Do I need to scoot my hand closer to the foot to make it more intense for the shoulder and the leg? Just find that spot that's just right. And from here, let's take 5 more breaths. One more inhale. Another good exhale. And as you release, make sure the strap is somewhat close to the top of the mat for access in just a moment. And then we thread that left shoulder under and through. Again, you can just rest on the right hand, or you can try to square the shoulders more downward and rest the middle of the forehead down. Okay, unwinding this arm. Let's take some extra time in child's pose so that our spine has lots of time to decompress after that. So just feel your hips traveling back, arms stretching forward. Enjoy that wonderful release on the low back. Okay, as we start to rise, let's take a moment with downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up to the sky, maybe pedal the legs out. Begin to walk the feet forward up to the hands. And take a moment with a nice forward fold. Grabbing onto your strap, then we'll rise up to stand. Nice back bend. And hands down in front of the heart. Okay, this is our last challenging pose of the day. This is combining different things that we've been working on today, especially that one that we just did. And so with the dancers pose, we're going to try to set that middle of the strap, that little loop that we did in the middle, just by how we're holding it. Set that middle of the strap around the right foot. And then start to bring the right foot to bend behind you. We'll start off with a moment with a quadricep stretch. And already if your balance is off, get close to a wall. You can use a wall here. But starting off with just a quadricep stretch, we're pulling the toes in close to the glutes. And the knees are close together. And then the tailbone scoops under and forward until we feel that quad stretching. One last little stretch before we go into this full dancer. Okay, now from here, just like we did on the ground, try to take the ends of the strap over that right shoulder. And then we're going to try to either just straighten up the right arm or straighten both arms with the strap. And so you start to lift those up overhead and kick the foot into the strap from behind. That creates our back bend shape. Squeeze that knee more midline behind you rather than going super wide. And if this is too easy, start to slide your hands further down, getting closer and closer to the foot. If it's too hard, be right up against the wall, left hand even right on the wall. So let's take about 3 or 4 more breaths coming into the pose. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Plant the right foot about 1.5 feet in front of the left foot, and we'll go into a pyramid pose. So keep the hips up toward that short edge of the mat. Hands start on the thigh. The spine starts off straight as we bend forward, and eventually release all the effort. So the spine can round. Keep that front leg straight. We're in a good deep stretch. recovery for the back, and also that nice counter stretch for the quads. Another good inhale. With our exhale, bend the knees, roll up to stand. We got one more side. This one we're going to be standing on right foot. Catch the middle of the strap around left foot. Start to bend that knee behind, and at first we're grouping close to the foot for the quad stretch. Knees are close together. Tailbone scoops under and forward. Okay. Try to bring the ends of the strap over the left shoulder. Again, one hand or both hands can be on the strap. You could always use this right hand kind of as a balance beam, just kind of swinging off to the side to help you out. But when you're ready, begin to straighten the left arm or both arms up, grabbing onto the strap. Kick the foot into the strap. That's what creates the arch to the spine. Maybe walk the hands closer. Keep on breathing. And you even have the Ujjayi breath here. 4 more breaths. One more good inhale. And exhale, completely release, set the strap down. Plant the left foot about 1.5 feet in front of the right foot. Square the hips forward. And begin to slide down that front thigh. Stretching that hamstring. Even letting the spine let go, releasing, rounding. Bend the knees, roll your spine back up to standing. Well, we're going to make our way down onto the ground. I have a little challenge squat if anybody wants to try it out. You bring your inner thighs together to touch. Your big toes are touching, heels can be slightly separated. And from here, if you're taking this challenge, start to balance your way as the heels lift. We're coming all the way to try to balance with our body right over those heels. If you make your way here, maybe 2 more breaths, little toe balance. And then we round our hands, we plant our hands in front of us and round the spine to give it a really long chance to stretch. The fingers are literally trying to get all the way to their edge of the balance. Take one more good inhale. And then exhale, place one of your hands behind you so you can lower down onto the glutes. From here, after all this work, let's take a couple of last stretches. The legs spread out nice and wide. Let's try to bring both of our hands around this right leg. We might be on the shin. We might be sliding down to the ankle. We might be able to reach the foot. You are trying to square that left shoulder down so both shoulders are parallel to the floor. You're also not lifting up left hip and you're not turning in the left toes. Everything is still stacked. Walk both hands through the middle, walking them nice and long forward. And then both hands begin to walk until they're surrounding that left foot, trying to square the left shoulder down. And walk both arms back forward. As the hands walk back in, you can grab your block, place your block. You can choose the height again. For this one, I almost like it better at a nice low height. You're going to place the block behind you in a placement where it's pretty much right at the shoulder blade area. And then you're going to relax the rest of your spine up and over. This is a very passive back bend. So find your spine completely relaxing up and over. And then rub your hands together for a moment, creating warmth, creating heat, friction. And then place your hands over the areas of your lungs, right over your heart. And feel into the heart. How is the energy doing right now? After all this breathing, this opening, this arching, does it feel like we don't have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders anymore? Does it feel more open to forgiveness, to love, to peace, to compassion? Let's take 3 more breaths with the Ujjayi breath, that light constriction of the throat. And after the 3rd breath, if this is extremely comfortable for you, you're welcome to stay through your whole Shavasana just like this. Or if you'd rather come off and take a flat spine Shavasana, roll off of your block, push it away, and return down onto the floor. And here, with the heart being the center of our focus, breathe deep breaths, huge, huge inhales and exhales into our lungs for these next few minutes as our body integrates all that we just did in our practice. Begin to deepen your inhales and your exhales. Introduce little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually rolling over to a nice fetal position on one side. Perhaps taking another 4 or 5 good deep breaths until you're ready to come up to a comfortable seated place. No rush, let that breath continue to flow deep and full for us. As we're up, let's join our hands together in front of our heart. Take a huge breath in and just fill those lungs, exhale. We'll wrap up this beautiful time we shared together, this heart-centered practice, traveling forward into the rest of our day with more awareness of our love, of our connection. How are we relating to everything else? That's this energy of the heart chakra. With this idea to help lead us onward into this marvelous day, let's wrap up our class together with a sound of Om. Inhaling together now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.